Hello, everyone, and welcome back to FluentCast, the podcast where we improve our English and our thinking one episode at a time. I'm Diego, teacher at Fluent English Academy, and today I'd like to ask you something. Have you ever tried to solve a problem and made it worse? Or maybe you thought you had a solution, but it was just a quick fix, like putting a bandage on something much deeper. Did you ever quickly believe something you saw or heard online, only to later realize it was fake news? Yeah, been there, we all have. And that happens for one simple reason: we are not thinking critically. But here's the good news. Critical thinking is not magic. It's a skill, and it's one you can learn. It's two things. First, it's a mindset, a way of stepping back and asking better questions. And second, it's a set of tools, simple, powerful tools that help us make better choices and understand the world more clearly. Today, I'll show you some of those tools that can change how you make decisions, solve problems, and even how you talk to people online. So if you've ever felt overwhelmed by information, if you've ever been fooled by a post, a headline, or even your own assumptions, this episode is for you. Let's get into it. Look around. We're swimming in opinions. Scroll through your phone for 5 minutes and you'll see 5 different truths. But here's the thing. More information doesn't mean better understanding. In fact, sometimes it's the opposite. Fake news spreads fast. Influencers act like experts. People argue in comments with full confidence, even when they are totally wrong. Why? Because we've stopped questioning. We don't pause to ask, wait, is this true? Where is this coming from? What's the real goal here? That's why critical thinking is so important right now. It helps you slow down and think better, not just faster. Most people skip this step, defining the real problem. They see a situation, jump to conclusions, and try to fix it without checking what's really going on. Let's say your team at work is always late on deadlines. Someone says, we need better tools, so they buy new software. But wait, maybe the problem isn't the tools. Maybe it's how people communicate, or unclear goals, or poor planning. If you fix the wrong problem, the real one stays hidden. So before acting, ask yourself, what exactly is the problem? What's causing it? What would a successful outcome look like? That's step 1. Be clear, be specific. Okay? Let's say you've got a problem. You've defined it. Now dig deeper. There's a technique called the 5 whys. It's simple. You ask why 5 times to find the root cause, the deep reason something is happening. Here's an example. The report was late. Why? We got the data late. Why? The team didn't collect it on time. Why? They didn't know the deadline. Why? No one reminded them. Why? Because there's no system in place to track deadlines. Now we're at the real problem: poor communication. Not just the report was late. You see how that works? Keep asking why, gently, and you'll find the truth hiding underneath. Let's shift gears. Right now, one of the biggest reasons we need critical thinking is fake news. Every day we see headlines, videos, memes, and many of them look real, sound real, but are totally false. So how can we protect ourselves? There's a simple technique called SIFT, not a word actually, but an acronym. SIFT. Each letter stands for an action. S stands for stop. Don't react emotionally. Take a breath. The letter I is for investigate the source. Who made this? Are they reliable? The letter F is find better coverage. What are other sources saying? Are they saying the same thing? And finally, the letter T stands for trace the original. Can you find where this information really started? Let's try it. You'll see a viral video saying, "This doctor says vaccines don't work." Instead of sharing it, you stop. You check the name, you Google the doctor, turns out they're not a real doctor, or maybe they are, but they're funded by a shady group. And by the way, shady group is a colloquial term used to describe a group of people or an organization that is perceived as being dishonest, untrustworthy, suspicious, or involved in morally questionable or illicit activities. Then you check other news sources. Most say the video is false. Finally, you trace the clip to a channel that's known for spreading misinformation. Boom! You just practiced critical thinking and you protected yourself and others from believing a lie. Let's connect the dots. After learning how to challenge fake news with SIFT, the next step is this. Focus on what truly matters. Fake news and online noise can be overwhelming. That's where a version of the 80-20 rule helps, not just for productivity, but for attention. The 80-20 rule, also known as the Pareto principle, says that 80% of results come from 20% of the effort. In other words, a small number of actions or sources can give you most of the value. When we apply this to attention, it means focusing on the small number of reliable sources that provide the best understanding. Instead of spending hours reading every post, focus your attention on the few voices that give you clear, accurate, and thoughtful information. Ask yourself, out of all the things I see online, what's actually useful? What's the small number of sources or voices that give me the best insight? Instead of reacting to everything, train your brain to look for quality, not quantity. You don't need 50 posts. You need 2 or 3 solid sources that help you understand better. So here's the trick. Focus less on what's popular, more on what's credible. Spend more time reading full articles than just headlines. Identify patterns over time, not just single posts. That's how you begin to filter the noise and find the signal. Now you've got tools. You know how to stop and check the source. You know how to compare stories and trace the truth. You know how to focus your attention on what matters most. This isn't just about reading news. This is about how you think every day. Should I trust this article? Believe this video? Forward this message to friends? Critical thinking helps you pause. It helps you say, hold on, what's really going on here? And if you don't know yet, that's okay. Asking questions is a strength. It's how smarter choices begin. So keep practicing, keep asking. That's how your mind gets sharper. Let me leave you with a little challenge. This week, when you hear a strong opinion in a meeting, on social media from a friend, don't just accept it. Ask one more question, not to argue, but to understand. And if you want to practice this in English, try writing it down. What's the problem? Why is it happening? So what? That's how you build the habit. That's how you build the mindset. Because when you think critically, you don't just solve problems, you see the world more clearly. and the world needs more people like that. If you enjoyed today's episode, follow FluentCast and share it with someone who needs a little brain upgrade. Also, if you want to learn English with teachers who care about real thinking, not just grammar rules, check out Fluent English Academy. We offer one-on-one lessons designed for curious minds just like yours. Until next time, stay sharp and stay thoughtful.